saying goodbye to A.J. Brown. Excuse me, as the Eagles traded A.J. Brown to the Patriots today. And Kevin, before I get to the compensation, just what was your reaction to it?
I knew it was coming. Toddy will tell you there was a time after the season where I was very hesitant about it. I thought, there's no way we can make it work. And then A.J. Brown is horrible at PR. He drops breadcrumbs every podcast he went on, every post he posted. He went for 184 yards and 2 touchdowns against Minnesota. Not even the next day, posted using me but not using me. So there were breadcrumbs all over the place, and I think at the unfortunate fallout was worse the Niners when Nick Sirianni basically called them everything under the sun on the sidelines. It was time. I'm definitely happy that we moved on from him. I think that it's going to work out great for us. I know a lot of people are saying, you don't trade an all-pro and get better, but I think we do. We were able to turn Carson Wentz into A.J. Brown. I think that's a pretty good deal. We got him for a first and a third, got 4 great years out of him, 2 runs to the Super Bowl, 2 Super Bowl wins, 3 all-pro seasons, and we got a first and a fifth for him. So the return on our investment was great. He's 29 years old. He's going to have to get paid again. So a lot of people are saying that he should have kind of got the Jalen Waddle, which was first and a third. You guys have to understand, just like we talked about with Micah Parsons and Myles Garrett, age is a huge factor. You're not going to give up multiple first-round picks for a guy who's probably going to play another 4 years. So, hats off to A.J. Brown. And no matter what he does in New England, he's always going to remember as a Philadelphia Eagle. We turned him into what he is today. Before he came to Philly, he was a 0 All-Pro. He had 2 1,000-yard season and an 800-yard season. So let's not pretend he was swole Batman before he got here. If he was swole Batman, they wouldn't have wanted to trade him. So it comes full circle. Last night before I went to bed, I told Alyssa, I said, "You ready for tomorrow?" She goes, "You think it happens tomorrow?" I said, 100%. I think both teams are ready to move on. A lot of people didn't know this. There was a guy in OTAs wearing number 11. Like, this was signed, sealed, delivered. Weeks ago, there was a rumor that he was looking at condos. Like, the only reason we had to wait is because we saved $50 million doing it. So we get to say goodbye to A.J. Brown, goodbye to the headaches, and now it's Devontae Smith's turn. So I'm really excited to kind of see how it all works out. But, best of luck to him. There's no love lost here. We got the best out of our investment. Like I said, Super Bowl win. Unfortunately, we couldn't beat the Chiefs first time, but we went. And as much as he hates it, he's going to be known as a Philadelphia Eagle. So it is what it is.
Yeah, if he ever were to get into the Hall of Fame one day, it will have to be as a Philadelphia Eagle, unless he goes on to have plenty of success with the New England Patriots, which, just playing devil's advocate here, Kev, I'm not trying to hate on the Eagles, but the Patriots were just in the Super Bowl, and A.J. Brown is an established number 1 now, and Drake May needs a new number 1 option. So we'll see what he can accomplish with the Patriots, but the bar has been set extremely high with the Eagles as a Super Bowl champion and all the individual accolades that you mentioned. And now just getting to the trade package itself. The Eagles are trading Pro Bowl wide receiver A.J. Brown to the Patriots for a 2028 first-round pick and a 2077 fifth-round pick. That is the better of New England's 2 fifths, as Adam Schefter reported. The deal has been speculated on for weeks, as Kevin mentioned, and is finally happening. Brown and Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel are reuniting after spending time together in Tennessee. And all I'm really wondering at this point is how does Diana Rossini feel about this trade? And how does her husband feel about this trade, considering that he is a Philadelphia Eagles fan? I'm just throwing that out there. But Toddy, what was your reaction to this news?
I think this was just something that we all knew was going to happen. It was kind of just they were just waiting until June 1 hit, as Kevin already mentioned. Howie is never going to be the person that gets got. He can never be the person that's get got. He's the getter, Mm-hmm. So I think we all knew it was happening. It just was a matter of when, not a matter of if. I do think the Eagles got worse. They lost an all-pro receiver. Multiple 1,000-yard receivers, receiving seasons. There's going to be a little bit of an adjustment period when you have Devontae Smith, who's going to be that number 1 receiver, and you have the other guys. How are they going to fit in and kind of basically contribute to what AJ was already contributing by himself. I feel like it's going to be a little bit by committee. They obviously add a player, Mekhi Lemon, who's a dog, and is probably going to eventually turn into the number 2 receiver, in my opinion, just based off of what he's been able to show in college. But Kevin probably won't be able to attest to that because he thinks that there are other people ahead of him currently right now. But I think just given what his draft status is, I think Kevin, what his draft status is, that he's going to be able to showcase his talents, and then he'll end up working his way up. But I think currently right now, Jalen Hurts is going to have to prove himself. What does he look like without AJ Brown? What is this offense going to look like with AJ Brown? What is Shaun Mannion going to be able to do with this newly improved offense? There's a bunch of question marks. What this Eagles team going to look like? Are they going to be a better team, or are they going to be worse? I'm not sure. I do think that they're going to be a lot different than what we've seen in the past. And I think moving forward, I think this just was best for both parties. I just think it kind of ran its course. Kevin already mentioned that just a bunch of just little shit that AJ would do before and after games, just the reading the book on the sideline, and making these these types of tweets. He's going on Julian Edelman's podcast, and Julian Edelman is like, "We're all Patriots here," and AJ Brown's giving you a wink, obviously because it's Rob Gronkowski and Julian Edelman. They're on the podcast together, so he knows what he's doing, right? So, like I said, man, this is a fresh start. This is on both sides. Drake May is going to get a weapon, a true number one receiver, and what he's going to be able to look like, and what is Jalen Hurts going to be able to look like without him. So, I think there's going to be question marks on both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah, and I'll say, as someone who has both Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith on my fantasy football team, I'm really happy about this trade because Devontae Smith gets to become a number 1. Jalen Hurts gets to have a guy who he actually has a lot of chemistry with as his number 1 option, and a guy who's not going to get butthurt at not getting every single touch and every single target. And as Big Sal says on Instagram,
Ciao, Sal.
At the end of the day, Brown is getting older and his knee is questionable, so it's a win again for Howie. And Big Sal also said hallelujah, but I wanted to put up his longer comment. And so, Eagles fans are ultimately happy with this decision, and I don't blame them. They got a great wide receiver room. We all knew this was coming just based on all the tea leaves and everything that was being dropped, but also the fact that the Eagles stacked their wide receiver room to plan for his inevitable departure. And so, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, both for Philadelphia, but also for New England, especially given everything that's been going on with New England in the offseason that has nothing to do with their actual team, but it has everything to do with their head coach. And that still is a developing situation. I already alluded to it. I'm not going to spend any more time talking about it, but it's interesting. And that's where we cue the Drewski meme, and it's like, we'll see about that. Anyways, as we continue here on Stats Over Politics, episode number 191, Kevin, go ahead.
I think, no hater in me, a lot of teams do have a Super Bowl hangover. They went from the 28th easiest schedule to the 4th. And I know Toddy was one of the guys saying that the Patriots are a top 5 team all season, but they were scraping by a lot of wins. So it's easy when you have the 28th schedule, and when you have the 4th schedule, we're going to have to see. So you never know. The 2028 pick might be top 5. Who knows?
Well, and Kevin, I wanted to highlight a couple other Instagram comments. I didn't get a chance to copy and paste it in, but Big Sal also says on Instagram, Jalen don't got to prove nothing, brother. I think that's to me. And then Big Sal also says, smile, Kev. It's a beautiful day, man. And shout out to Spoov as well, who said earlier regarding Myles Garrett, I can't believe they traded him to the Rams. Neither can I. 49ers fans, we're all hurting right now as we